Good morning, or hello, or good afternoon, whatever time you happen to be listening to this. And so here we are. Thanksgiving in the United States is only a couple days away. And I want to talk about gratitude. That's what Thanksgiving is, right? And how important it is, how important I think it is. Not just once a year, but really daily in our lives. Gratitude is so vitally important. And you know, when we get into the holiday times, it's a time of celebration, and obviously Thanksgiving, because that's what I'm talking about, and getting together with family and friends and celebrating. But it's also a hard time for a lot of people for a whole, gamut of reasons. There's tons of reasons why people could be having a hard time, whether they're financially strapped or maybe they've lost loved ones, or it's just a hard time for them. They don't feel like they're part of the group, whatever the case may be. Okay, tons of reasons why people are unhappy. And I think sometimes we fake it, when we're going to the parties and the dinners and whatever else we do during this time, that sometimes we really don't feel like we're part of it. And this is where gratitude becomes so vitally important, really living daily, but particularly at this time of the year, because this is what we're focused on. And so I want to tell you a little story about a book that I read when I was a kid. It was called The Hiding Place, and actually the movie's on YouTube for free. You can watch it for free. And it's a story about a lady named Corrie ten Boom. She's from Holland. And during the Holocaust, her family hid Jews and they got arrested. And she ended up in Auschwitz, her and her sister. Auschwitz? I guess I said that right. I don't know. Maybe I said it wrong. She was in a concentration camp. She was arrested for hiding the Jews, and she ended up in a concentration camp, and she was with her sisters, or her sister, Betsy. And, the conditions in these concentration camps were horrible. There was disease, and, they were packed in like sardines. They were getting minimal amount of food. It was cold, all these different terrible things. And one of the bad things about the barracks where they had to sleep was they were filthy, and they had fleas and lice in there. And she gets with her sister, right? And they go in and they realize they're being bitten by these fleas and they're getting lice. And her sister, Betsy, says, "Thank God for the lice." And any normal person would be like, "What are you talking about? Why do I have, why would I thank God for these lice?" Well, as it turns out, because of the pestilence, the parasites, the lice and the fleas that they had in the barracks, the Nazi guards wouldn't go in. They tried whatever they could to stay out of the barracks because they didn't want to be getting the fleas and the lice, right? And the reason why this was a good thing was, even though it was horrible for the ladies and the men in the barracks, they were separate, but she was a lady, okay. And keeping the guards out was, it gave them some time of peace. It gave them a time to commune with each other. It gave them time to help each other out. It gave them time where they weren't being beaten or oppressed by these horrible people and the things that they were doing to the prisoners in the camp. It was actually a safe haven and a protection for them while they were in the barracks. And that really hit home with me, like, okay, we don't really always understand why things are bad. And I know some people are going to disagree with me, and I'm not saying that we're supposed to be happy about things that horrible things that happen or hard times that we go through. But there may be a greater purpose at hand that sometimes we just don't understand. And so, I try every single day, and I did this with my kids, to think of 3 things that I'm grateful for and that they're grateful for. And we used to do it at dinner time when they were little. We would sit at the table, and before we ate and we said grace, I would say, "Tell me 3 things that you were happy for." And a lot of times it was very repetitious. My kids always said, I'm so grateful for my family or my mommy, and sometimes they would say, I got an A on this test, or sometimes something unusual would come up, but or different, but most of the time it was very repetitive. And I created something. See, we were actually going through our own hard time at the time, and I was really trying to help my kids get through this. And this is why I started doing that, was to help them think of something to be grateful for, because there's always something. Your world is not compacted into one small unit. There's other things going on around you, and you have other people going on around you. And that's why I was doing this for them, because it was hard on our whole family this time that we were going through. And so what I did was, it was just a piece of poster board, and I wrote on the top of it thankfulness, and there's a scripture that says to give thanks in all things, rejoicing only. Good Lord, rejoicing always. And it was somewhere in one of the Thessalonians. I don't remember the exact reference. If somebody happens to know the scripture I'm talking about, go ahead and put it in the comments, because it's really good. But I created this poster, and we had crayons and markers and colored pencils, all different kinds of things, and we started writing on it every day. And sometimes we would be having a conversation and someone would mention something, and that's really good for that board. And this board was on our wall in our kitchen for the whole time I lived in this apartment, while we were getting through this time. And of course things got better after a while, and the kids' friends would come in and they would see it and they would write something on it, and it really became a piece of art. It was all different colors, and it had all different kinds of things. And of course, sometimes the kids would put little hearts on there, or happy face, they'd make a little drawing, a little doodle like thing. And this is my biggest regret in my whole life. I took it down when we moved, and I put it in the trash. And I really, now looking back 40 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever it is, I wish I had kept it, because it was a piece of art, and it also showed how so many things there are to be thankful for. It's not just your mom and your dad, but even the little things. And those little tiny things sometimes is the one thing that will get you through the day, when everything else seems to be falling apart and just not going the way it's supposed to. That one little thing, I saw a butterfly today, or I heard a baby laugh, or just one little thing. Somebody held the door for me when I was leaving the store. All these little things add up, and they help remind us that even though there are bad things happening in the world and in our lives, the whole world is not bad. Our whole life is not bad, and there's a reason to stay hopeful. If you can be thankful, you can be hopeful. And so that gratitude of the tiny little gifts that we get every day add up. And I don't know. I think my reasons for throwing it away was, well, we're past this, we're moving on to something better, and it's time to let it go, which I guess is a healthy thought. But looking back, I just really wish I had kept it. But we are going into the holiday seasons, and I know that it's tough for a lot of people. If you could please, even just one thing that you're grateful for today, put it down in the comments, and maybe we can start a trend here, if you've even listened to this video this long. And for me, I'm grateful today that I have this channel, even though I don't know any of you. I really don't know anybody who watches my videos. I've gotten so much positive feedback and support, like going back to when Ray was so sick, and he was having his feet amputated, and it went on for a long time. And there were people on here who don't know me. I cried. I was so scared for him, and I got support from people that I didn't know. And then more recently, when I was having my own scare with my lung cancer and colon cancer and all these things that I was worried about, people all over the place that I don't even know. I don't know you guys, and yet there was so much kindness and support and love from the world. And so I'm just hoping that in this regard, look, I'm going to get emotional again. When things are tough, that we can reach out and embrace each other, even if they're strangers, because somebody else knows how you feel. And you're not alone. Okay, just please let's help each other and find one more thing to be grateful for. And my tears, I'm not sad. It's my gratitude, my genuine gratitude. I didn't know I was gonna cry. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.